Hey everyone! Yay for hedgehogs! Are you guys excited? Okay, so I already kind of got started on mine. I just traced it. So, let me put this here so I don't stab myself. The actual design, this is just the first one I've done. I'm going to clean this up. So yours might look a little different than this, but hopefully it'll look better. So all I did was I cut it out. I literally taped it with Scotch tape to the back of my hoop. And for something like this, where we're doing a lot of heavy stitching, you want to make sure that your fabric is really drum tight on here. So what I do to get really tight is I make sure that this screw is super tight, and then I go around and kind of pinch the fabric out all the way around. And once I get back, if I need to tighten it, I'll tighten it. I'll go over and over and over until it's, I mean, look at this, man. That's tight. So when you do that, it'll be a lot easier to trace too. You won't be like flopping along trying to mark on there. So I taped it. I held it up to a window. I have a light board. I didn't even bother using it. This white fabric and the dark lines, and luckily I had a sunshiny day and I was able to trace it. So I just used a micron pen for the center parts. For the outline, I used a water-soluble pen, and the reason for that is that, this is where the spines of the hedgehog are going to be. So it's not going to be like a perfect line like this. It's going to be all jagged, You want it to, to have it be realistic. It's going to be irregular. And I'm not about to, like, draw in every single spine. I mean, that would take forever. So I just did this, so we can wash that away when we're done. Just a guideline so I kind of know how far out to go with my spine. So that's what that's about. A little note about the design itself. Someone asked me to do a hedgehog for them. It was a custom request is how I came up with this design. And she just said, make me a hedgehog. I'm like, all right. So I was thinking, okay, let's see if we can find the cute, oopsies. I know how to use my, oh, don't look. Don't look at my passcode, guys. Basically, I Googled a cute hedgehog and found the cutest one I could find. So that's where the face comes from, is this guy. I don't know why this is so, oh God, look at him. Oh, they're so cute. Anyways, anytime I do an animal, I look at images on the internet to get references, right? And if you look at the colors, you can see them in here. The spines are the dark brown, and the ecru here, that's what we're using there. The fur is white with, we're doing some gray for some shadows. Around the mouth, we have some pink, and the paws are pink. And there's some darker fur around the snout, and then the ears are darker as well. So we're going to get to do some thread painting there. So if you don't like what I'm telling you, you can always come back to here and see. And this is a good way to, I don't know why it's so fuzzy, guys. It must be my internet. But, I kind of like to look at the animals and see, just what direction the spines go, what direction the fur goes. God, they're so cute. So, I Googled, like, cute hedgehog, and, like, okay, how can I make it even cuter? And it's like, well, the cutest pictures, obviously, are the ones where they're on their backs, right? Like, here. I mean, they're just freaking adorable like that, right? So that's how our little star hedgehog here, I put his head on just a random hedgehog body, and added flowers. So that's our inspiration. Look at this. Like, now I want to take a bubble bath. But here you can see the shading on the face too. So, and see here, I'm trying to figure out what color to use for the nose. Like, eyes are going to be black. Here, this nose looks black. That looks pretty black too. See, if I was a real artist, I'd go and hang out with some hedgehogs in the wild. See, do some sketching, and I don't think it matters too much. I think you can use black or brown. I'll let you choose. Oh, they're cute. Okay, let's stitch though. So we're gonna start with the spines because you can see the fur goes over the spines on all edges. So we want to get our spine layer down first. And you can see it's the light color is over the dark color. So we're gonna start with the dark color. And you know, the spines are actually like multicolored, like they kind of change throughout. But we don't have time for that. We're just gonna do 2 different colors, and you can see they go all kinds of crazy directions. They in general follow the body, and let's see. Here's this. You can see I kind of showed the direct. Oops, sorry guys. Gotta work on the stability of my camera there. Yeah, I kind of have guidelines here, and I'll include that in the final design. You know, the spines go away from the body. Here it's kind of interesting because they go out and then they kind of curve back in and up. If you look at a picture, let's see if we can find a good one. Here we go. I don't know, this person's really into their hedgehogs. That's awesome. So at the bottom, you can see they spike out and then they also start to curve around and then they kind of meet in the middle and go up. Okay, so we're going to do that. Okay, and my cat Boots is here. Rubbing around on my legs. You guys probably don't want to see that. Okay, so here's the dark color. 3371. It's just a nice dark brown. And I'm using a nice fat needle here because I'm going to use a full strand to replicate those spines. Okay. And like I said, the fur is going to overlap the spines. So when we do the spines, we want to kind of come in a little bit underlapped, I guess. Is that even a word? But you know, the white fuzzy fur is going to go over that. So we want to make sure that we work in enough that the spines will then be covered. Hopefully that made some sense. So basically, you're just going to kind of get messy here and make some spines. Like I said, in general, they're in one direction, but I don't know. I'm not sure what guidance to give on here, except just go for it and see how it looks. Excuse me, I'm getting over a cold. And I'm kind of leaning over to do this, so oopsies. Hopefully I won't get any mucus on my work. That's gross, I'm sorry. I would never send out any work with mucus on it, I promise. I am not contagious at this point. Okay, I need to figure out how to edit that out. So here, you can see what I'm doing. I'm just doing random little spines here. You don't have to fill it in completely. You're going to come through with the ecru color, that kind of off-white. And so I do the dark kind of closest to the hedgehog. And then the lighter color is going to be kind of on the outer side and also filling in the gaps. So we got a patch here and a patch over here. And you can see, hopefully you can see, I have different lengths, I have different directions, different distances from each other. You know, if you look at those spines, there's order to them, but when there's so many, they look pretty disordered. And that's what we're just trying to replicate here. So just going to fill in the space as best you can. And the same thing here, where I'm going to come down to where I guess the hairline would be. And that's going to be covering those ends of the spines there. And you know, when you cover it, of course you can't see those guidelines anymore, but you can refer back to the photos and whatnot. So, I think I'm gonna stop. I'm hoping that made sense. I'm going to grab the ecru here and show you what this looks like on top. I was thinking of doing the entire embroidery on camera, but I don't know. Would you guys tell me if would you want to see that? I don't know if that sounds boring. I don't know. It's a little challenging to stitch like this with the setup, but it's not impossible. Just not my normal. I just don't know if anyone would be interested. If no one's interested, I'm not gonna bother. So here I am. Oops, got away from me there. Knots, knots, knots. Got it. Where am I? Okay, I'm gonna come here. Do one this way. That. And we'll cross this one and pop out this way. And then I'll put one this way. So you just kind of want to balance it out and kind of keep it within the, like for me it's the blue guidelines. You know, you can have some, obviously I have some, here's my guideline, there's obviously some outside of it. You can see it follows it though. A little stray hair there, okay. In some of the hedgehogs I've done, I've added a third color kind of in between these two. I'm kind of on, oops, oh, so sorry guys. Oh, I will get better at this, I promise. You all know I just make this up as I go along, right? I'm just a mom. Just sharing embroidery with y'all. Oh, what have I done here? This is going to be a big tangle. Okay. So I'm going to keep following along, and you know, you kind of naturally just fill in the gaps, and like I said, if you can try to make more of the lighter color on the outside and more of the darker color on the inside. It doesn't really look like I've done that here. That's what I was going for. I think it still looks like spines though. I think it works. What do you guys think? Not that I can hear you. Okay, a little gap here. Fill in. So yeah, you can add a third color if you want. What I've done before is a color in between, and I've used actually less thread, so I've only used 3 instead of a full 6 strands. And I'm not sure if you can tell much of a difference, so I decided to leave it out this time. But like with anything, like the more colors you add, the more realistic it's gonna look. Of course, the more work it's gonna be. Okay, so I'm gonna come back to all that. Maybe I'll just show you guys right here. So these stitches are going to be in this direction. Technically I should be doing the black first, but I didn't think of it. So pretend this is black, or not black, I'm sorry, it's the dark brown. So you can see the direction is kind of wonky, right? And then these are going to kind of go this way. And you'll see it when it's done too. You'll see how the direction of these ones is a little different instead of just spiking out. So it's more like how I have in the sketch here. Okay, so I'm gonna finish up that before I come back. I do want to just talk about the eyes and the nose first, so we can have that done too. So let's go ahead and go with black for the eyes. You're going to do the nose the same way. They have this little like kind of piggy nose thing. Usually, I'm sorry about that guys. Usually I just do it all black because it just kind of looks cuter that way. But if you want, I can also show you guys how to do it if you want to have like a little highlight on there to show that kind of snout that they have. Okay, so I'm going to use half a strand, or 3 strands, I guess. I never know what language to use for that. Oh, I'm an overtalker. Okay. Excuse me. So, for the eyes, I do like a padded, sort of kind of padded satin stitch. Because they have, I don't know if you remember the picture, they kind of have these bug eyes. Like, they're bulbous, you know, which is cute. And then they have the nice, the light gleam in the eyes that gives them that, like, doe eye look. So, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to do a split stitch of the circle to make sure we get a really nice, perfect circle. What have I done? What have I done here? All right, it's gone. It's gone. Okay. So we'll do a split stitch around. And then we're just going to do a satin stitch over this. And usually I just do it horizontal. Oh my goodness gracious, okay. The direction doesn't really matter for that satin stitch. See, how am I doing here? It's a little messy here, but we're going to cover it up with a satin stitch. I just want to make sure I don't ruin my circle. Oh, I'm going to need a Kleenex soon. And I still have a cat rubbing against me. Not the most natural situation. Okay. You know, when I watch these videos, I don't even, like, listen to the person. So I don't even know if any of you are listening to me or just watching. Usually I'll have, like, Netflix on and I'll just watch and assume I'm getting everything I need just from the visual. So hopefully that's what you guys are doing. You don't have to listen to me blabbing on. Okay, so now I'm just going to do the satin horizontal-ish. You can see it's like wonky over here, but we should be able to cover it up just fine. Okay. And back and forth. Looks like I maybe missed a line in there. One thing that's a little tricky with the black is sometimes, like what I just did, is you can pull up other colors, and you know, you really want the eye to be black, right? Because they're like shiny black with bright reflections in them. So you don't want like this, I have like some light colored fuzz that's sticking to it. You want to avoid that if you can. Sometimes I'll do the eyes, I'll do the whole embroidery, and I'll come back and do another layer of black over the eyes. If they've gotten all fuzzy, or if I feel like they need to pop more, because then you really do have like a padded satin stitch. You have like 2 layers. Oops, that one was a little far out there. Let's see if we can make it work anyways. Oh yeah, that looks okay now that it's pulled tight. So I've gotten tangled again. Okay, so and when you do the outline like that, I know it's an extra step, but it really helps to get your shape as you want it, you know. So, you know, just do the same thing for the eye. Like I said, for the nose, you can just repeat it. You can do it in black or the dark brown. I mean, they're, shoot, can you even tell a difference? So that's it. So I'm going to finish those things, and we'll come back and we'll start working on the ears. The ears will be next. And then we'll start doing some fur. All right. Hey everyone, so I went ahead and finished up those stitches. Let me see if I can zoom in here. There we go. just so you can see how I did those spines. So you can see the stitches are different lengths, they're different directions, but in general they follow the guidelines. And while I was doing it, I was looking at a picture of a real hedgehog, you know, to kind of get a better idea. It's like I have a little hole here I need to fill in. Now that I'm doing a zoom in, I can see it. I see a little hole here too. So I'll go fix those. So yeah, there we go. So what we're going to do next is I'm going to start with the feet. The feet are super easy, and then we'll move to the ears. So we're just using a couple colors here. We're going to start with the pink for the feet. We're going to use 2 strands out of the 6. And we're just going to do satin stitch. Super simple. And once you're done with the satin stitch, you're going to do little lines to indicate the toes using this slightly darker color here. Let's see, where's my, oops, grab my full skeins here. There, so we can see. So the pink is the 225. We're going to do the toe details with 3773, and then we're also going to use that in the ears. Oh my gosh, you can't see what I'm doing. Here we go. There we go. Can you see me now? Yeah, sorry, that focus was still, I'm glad I noticed that now. Whew. Excuse me. So we're going to use this in the ears too, and then 632 for the ears, and we'll start some of the darker coloring here. Okay, so here's the two strands of the light pink, and for this work you can use a smaller needle if you want. You can even go smaller than what I have here. It just, you know, it depends on what you like to work with. But you don't need to use that giant needle that we were using for the spines. Okay, so for the paws, the front paws, you want the satin stitch in this direction, like in line with the paws, so like this. For the feet, it's the same, but what I do is I make, I have it in 2 chunks, so I have this as one set of satin stitch, and then the bottom part of the foot is separate. Alright, so let me just work that a little bit. I'm going to anchor into my spines. And I like to start in the center of my shape. Work down. I did not do a fantastic job when I traced this shape, so I might not stick exactly to my guidelines. But we're just gonna do satin stitch. Probably don't need to show any of this. I think you probably know what that means without me doing it. You could also just use a single strand of floss if you want for this. Excuse me. To make it more smooth looking. I'm just trying to save a little bit of time by using 2 strands, and I think it looks fine. I think it looks good enough. So we're gonna do that. And then for the bottom part of the feet, I'm going to start at the bottom and go up, meet with my other stitches here. There we go. Oops, excuse me. I thought I set up the camera better this time, but I did not. I think it's a little better, but I have kind of a long piece of thread here. I smacked into my stand. Okay, and the other side. So I've just been doing the feet pretty much in just the one color besides the little definition of the toes, using that next color up. Keep getting this little guy in my stitches. Okay, and I think that's enough detail for these. I mean, you know, you really want people's eyes to be focused more on the face, you know, and the flowers, so, but if you want to add more detail, you can. I don't know exactly what the bottom of a hedgehog foot looks like. I'm kind of guessing, but you could always add some more shading in there. So that's it. So you're just going to do that again here, and then just kind of the top part there. Okay. So let's go ahead and move on to the darker color, the 632. And I'm going to use 2 strands again. We're going to head over to the ears with this. Let's see. If this method doesn't work for you, if you get tangles when you're separating your thread, you might want to just pull out 1 strand at a time. If you pull down on the Y like I'm doing there, it kind of prevents that crazy tangling most of the time. Okay. So before I started, I kind of marked out on here this shape where the dark's going to be, and the negative space is where the lighter version is. So basically, like, the inside of the ear has this shadow of the darker color, and then once you get to the very center, there's a little light that shows through, and so it's going to be a little lighter there too. So that's what that's about. And it's the same thing here where we kind of come down a little bit. We're going to later come in with the lighter fur and cover a lot of this ear, but you obviously, you know, it's way easier to just fill in the whole thing and stitch over it. So that's what we're going to do. Okay. And I'm not doing the greatest job back here. It's going to get real messy back here, so do what you can to keep it clean so you're not pulling through other colors, which I'm sure you'll see me do a lot, unfortunately. Okay, I don't know why I'm starting off to the side instead of the middle, but that's what I'm doing. Okay, so same thing, more satin stitch. And with this satin stitch, I'm going to do a little blending once I move to the other color. So I guess, you know, that long and short stitch, I guess there's degrees of it, you know. There's like the really traditional long and short and long and short. And I do more of a, I don't know, organic version. Which I think is good, you know, you have it adapt to the piece that you're working on. So for here we're going to do a mix of satin and long and short to blend. And what I like to do, and I did this in that fox pattern too, is I'll use a mix between 2 strands of floss and 1 strand of floss. So I'll have like 2 colors, like for example here. So I'll do 2 strands of floss with this and 2 strands of floss with this, and then blend them together with 1 strand of that. And I don't think people can tell a difference that you use 2 strands. I think it'll look pretty much the same as if you had used 1 strand of all 3 colors. And it just saves you a little time, you know. Probably in the end doesn't save you that much time, but that's just the method that I've kind of been using. Maybe it'll change over time, we'll see. Alright, satin, 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 satin. I think on this edge, this color is the edge, so you do want to go all the way to the edge here, and we're going to be kind of covering some of these spines. Let's see how this goes, because it might be, looks like it's looking okay. I was going to say, you know, you could always do like what we did here, and on this edge, do a split stitch to kind of raise the ear over the spines. Because as you can see, you know, we did the spines a lot thicker than the ear. However, the ear in space is in front of the spines. So, you know, there's obviously multiple ways to get that effect, but it looks like, I'm pulling something up. Okay, looks like it's gonna look okay here, just doing the satin stitch without making it padded. But feel free, if you find that your ear edge is not crisp and it's sinking behind here, please go ahead and make it padded. Looks like I need to just clean it up a little bit. Just a little spot here. Okay, so that's one side of the ear. And, you know, obviously we need to repeat that over here. While I have this color, I'm going to go ahead and show you what we're going to do on this face here. So, if you remember the photo of the hedgehog I showed you, the cutest hedgehog ever, it's got these like darker, kind of like an eyelid here. It gives it these kind of cute bug eyes. And then she also has kind of some of that color going down under the eyes, like almost like she just woke up and needs a little coffee, you know. It's just kind of pathetic, but in the cutest way possible. And then there's also some of that around the nose here. Oops, and you know what I forgot to do while I had the pink? This pink is supposed to go here. I meant to show you guys that too. But it's going to look exactly the same as what I'm going to do here. So it's actually easier. You're just going to do satin stitch, follow these guidelines for the directions on this white part here. So all the way to the nose with the pink. So all of this will be the pink. Okay, and then this color that I'm holding now is going to be next to the pink. And like what I just said, we're going to then blend the two with this color. So what I'll do is, let me think. I'm trying to think what I'll show on camera, what I'll do behind the scenes. I'll show the blending on the camera. But here I'm just, I mean, I guess it's kind of a, well, it's not wacky satin stitch. I was going to say wacky satin stitch, but that's not what it is. It's, like, I guess that's what I would call this. Because you don't want the threads to go crazy directions like this. You want it to be smooth, but they can be different lengths. Different lengths is good because that'll help you blend. I'm just going to go back and forth along the snout. And as far as around the eyes, it's a little tricky as far as, I still haven't really decided like which direction the stitches should go around the eyes. It's very, very short fur there. I mean, it's eyelids. It's almost like it's just skin, you know. Hold on one sec here. I don't want to lose my thread. Okay. So keep going with this. I kind of go out and come back and fill in spots. So you gotta fill in a little piece here. Perfect. Okay, and then we have this, like I said, this little kind of tired eye look over here. A few more threads. And I may even come back. I mean, we'll see how it looks once we get all the different colors in here. I may come back with a single strand of this color. You know, you kind of work in layers, and I kind of go from more coarse to more thinner threads as I build the details. So around the eye, I'm just gonna like kind of do a back stitch thing. I guess it's called brick stitch when you use it to fill. I'm going to outline the eye, here. Okay, just to get this color in here. Back and forth. Okay, maybe one more row of that around. Let's see if I like that. That's the problem with doing this as making it up as I go on camera. It's risky for sure. I think it's okay. And we can always blend into it too, kind of change the texture a bit. And I'm going to do a few strands kind of like out. Like that. Okay. Let me just use up the rest of this piece while we're here. Oops, I think I just lost it. So I'm just going to finish that all the way around to do this side of the eyelid. And then while I'm still filming, let's go ahead and, like I said, we're going to do this ear. I think I'm going to start with 2 strands and then move to a single strand. Let's see how that works. Very scientific process here, guys. So I always get nervous about writing pattern. It's like, do whatever you want. I know that's not what you want to hear. You want to know what I did. And sometimes I don't remember, or I change it every time I do it. It's a process, right? It's an experiment. It's art, you know? So this is what my process looks like. Okay, so I'm going to do satin here. I'm going to stick in the same direction. And this one will be going in this way, just kind of in the direction that the ear is pointing. And like I said, a lot of this is going to be covered with white fur. We should still do a good job. Okay, lift a gap here. And I think I want one here. Okay, I'm going to change sides because I'm going to stitch towards my previous stitches. And I think on this side, I think I do want that hard line, but on the other side I want it more painted looking. So here it's just where 2 satin stitches meet, versus here we're going to do more of a painted look. So I think that's when I will switch to a single strand. Yes, that's what I've been planning this whole time. So this is like the rim of the ear where it curls under. See, I feel like something weird's going on right here. I need another stitch. It got skinny there. I think the spine is messing up the shape of my ear. I'm going to add another strand right here. Kind of go into that black spine because it, like I was saying before, yeah, it's still, I may have to work on that one. Like I said, we want the ear to look like it's on top of the spines. So maybe on this side, you guys might want to do that. More of a padded stitch there, like we did with the eyes, to get it on top of the spines. This part's a little time consuming with these little mini stitches. Oh, I'm feeling sweaty. I gotta work on my TMI when I'm doing these videos, my goodness. I actually finally have some nice weather, and for some reason I'm wearing pants and a long sleeve shirt. I don't know what that's about. There we go. That looks great. Awesome. Excuse me. Okay, so I'm going to save this strand for the other side, and then we'll go ahead into the single strand of this color. Do the inside of the ear, and then while I have this, I mean, the little lines here are really easy. You just basically just do a single lines up to make little paws. You probably don't need me to show you that. But we'll do this. So, when you do the painting, the thread painting, you come up through the previous stitches. Because if you go down, I guess you get more of a dent. You don't want that. You want it to be more smooth. So I'm going to have some come up through and some come up kind of right at that intersection, because we want it like the long and short stitches, right, to make it blended. So I'll do my long ones first and then work around them. Go. Hopefully you guys aren't getting motion sick. It's hard to keep the embroidery still when you're actually embroidering. You don't realize how much you kind of turn it and work around it as you go. Okay, so I'm just filling in this space now. Okay, that's that. We'll just leave it like that. Get a close up. So it's not like, you know, my colors are different enough that it's not a super smooth transaction, but I think it's going to be okay, especially because we're going to cover a lot of that with the white fur. If you want something more smooth, you would then blend these together with a color in between these two. So I ain't got time for that, but if you want to do it, you should totally do it. All right, so I am going to finish the feet, finish this dark color on the face and the pink on the snout, even though I didn't show any of that. I think you guys understand what I'm saying. And I'll finish this here, and then we'll meet back up again, and let's see, what will we do? Oh, we'll find out soon. Okay, thanks guys.